welcome to another episode of Unscripted. Today we are all about the truth. We are talking the truth only. This is because the guest is none other than Luyanda Potwana. He presents Nyan Nyan, meaning people go there to say their truth. I read through your story. I mean, you've gone through so many challenges to be where you are today. To think that you actually were living at Park Station at some point, washing cars, and trying to actually pursue this dream of being on television. Tell me, what was driving you?
There is nothing that is happening in my life right now, or that has happened in my life, that I didn't know it was going to happen. And when I say that, I'm not even being arrogant. You know, the only language I understand is faith. You know, so to answer your question, I had faith in God. Faith was driving me. Faith allowed me to say, while I was on the streets, that one day I will be on TV. And I was not even vague about it. I was very, straightforward about it, even when I was praying that, God, I want to be on TV as a TV host. That's how I want to debut on TV. I want to have a show on SABC1, not just on TV. And I said it 7 years ago on the streets. Family thought I was crazy. Friends thought I was crazy. People who knew me, they were like, no, this is not going to happen. You're just crazy. Just accept your situation. And that's the problem with people. They accept the situation that the devil is bringing to them. They don't know that there is God, who can change their situation. Of course, faith is needed. Active faith is needed. So yeah, faith was driving me. Faith in God.
Right. When last did you go back to your roots? I mean, by your roots, I mean go back to Park Station to see the people that you used to wash the cars with. Now that you've made it, just to say to them, hey, hello, please don't give up on yourself. If you have a dream, pursue it. Look at me now. When last did you ever go and visit those guys?
Actually, I was with them about 3-4 weeks ago because I'm currently shooting a documentary. Because there's a lot of people who are inspired by my story. That they said, you know what, not everyone will get to see or hear about your story. What that required then was that I had to go back and sort of like relive, everything that I've been through. So I went to Park Station, I went to High Point, Hillbrow, I went to those abandoned buildings I used to sleep in, at downtown Johannesburg. So I've been all over, and surprisingly, many of the guys that I was on the streets with are still there. And it was a very emotional moment. I'm sure you can imagine. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not an emotional person, but I did. Because this is now, this is like 7 years. So to go back there and to see, and they still look the same. Nothing has changed. They're still doing the same thing that we used to do. So for a moment there, all those memories came back. And it was too much to bear. I remember I went to Joburg Park as well. I had my own little spot there where I used to sleep. And surprisingly, there were two guys who used to see me, and one of them robbed me actually when I was sleeping there. So they came. They said, no man, we know you. You used to sleep here at Joburg Park. And I was the one who robbed you. Because there was this other day when I woke up and then my jeans were torn. I was asleep. I was like dead asleep. So someone came and then they took something out of my pocket. I don't remember what it was. So that guy came. This is not a joke. And said, I remember you. I saw you on TV, and I said, this was the guy I robbed at Joburg. But so yeah, I do go, I do see them. Some of them are still there, and they are very inspired. Another one was telling me that, look, if you could do it, I don't want to be on TV, but whatever that I want in life, I believe now that I can achieve it as a result of seeing you on SABC1.
Sleeping in the streets, it's difficult. I've never slept in the street, but I can just imagine. I see the people, especially during rainy weathers, during winter and. What did you take to cope? Because it's cold.
I saw that in Joburg there are clubs that do not close. They operate 24 hours. So I was like, no man, I don't think I need to sleep on the streets like literally. I can just go and pass the night in those clubs. So that's what I used to do. There was a club, it's no longer there now, it used to be called African Jive at Plain Street. So what I used to do, I used to go to that club. And because bouncers know that us homeless people go there to kill the night, not to buy anything. And because of that, they chase us out. So what I used to do to avoid that, I would take like an empty bottle of beer, and then I'll put water there, and then I'll pretend as if I'm drinking something, because you can't tell from outside that it's water there. And sometimes I'll even hit the dance floor, just to make sure that the bouncers don't see that I'm not there as a customer. So I would sit there in that nightclub until 6 o'clock. And then 6 o'clock, just across the road, there's a church, the Universal Church. They have this prayer that they do in the morning, like 6 o'clock until 7. It's called Workers' Prayer. So I would go there again, to pass time. And then I'll pray. Then 7 o'clock, the sun is coming out already. I'll go to Joburg Park. And then I'll take a nap there until around 11 o'clock. And then from 11, I'll go to High Point in Hillbrow to park the cars. And then from there, I would walk from Hillbrow to SABC, and sit there at the entrance of the SABC, and I'll block every celebrity that's coming, and I'll sell myself. But to answer your question, there were times where I felt like giving up. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend as if, those thoughts didn't come. Yeah, they did. I remember 2007, it was actually the first time I witnessed snow, because I only saw that on TV. So we were on the streets, and now it's during the day at Kosepsu, where I have a club to pass the night in. We are now parking cars, but it's winter, and then it so sometimes you're wearing an old All-Star, and then it goes, maybe after, I don't know, 15 minutes, but the bottle club up. Why? Because your feet are so frozen, because it's winter. You don't even feel there's a glass that cut you. You only realize when you see the blood. Wow, what? So that's how bad it was. And in terms of safety, look, it's not safe on the streets. You just have to continue doing what you do, look after yourself. I didn't smoke anything. Like I said, I was driven by faith. When I was on the streets, I had God already. So I was privileged enough to have been taught the ways of God, which is what carried me on the streets, which is what set me apart from the other guys. Not because I was better, but I was taught the ways of God. So I didn't smoke anything, I didn't do any crime. I managed to be safe while I was on the streets. Only thing that was on my mind was that I want to be on TV. When I managed to raise 50 rands as a result of parking cars or washing them, the only thing that comes to my mind, Luyanda, go to that.
The first time you got your big break,
what
was your reaction? What did you do?
I want to be that witness that God is alive, and I am. So yeah, when I got the show, that's the first thing that came into my mind. Would thank you. Now I can be a witness that you are real. Your book is real. And of course, there were a lot of tears. I mean, when I looked back at where I come from, like my family, the poor background. I mean, I come from poor, but I only went to school as far as my matric. I don't know those of any varsity or college. Every little that I know, I taught myself, through seminars, through research, and of course, through God. So yeah, there was a lot of tears. I remember my mother, when I called her, I told her to switch on the TV, and then she was like, why? I said, no, I don't want to give it away, just switch on your TV, and then you call me afterwards. So it was actually the first time that on my phone, I received more than 100 phone calls, that my battery went flat within 2 hours. It was the day of my TX on TV. So this is the moment that every person, whether you are on TV or you are in print media, when you pass that interview, when you receive that call, that Matawa, congratulations, you've made it. It leaves a mark in your life. There's nothing. It's one of those moments that can never be taken away.
You are currently shooting the 5th episode of Nyan Nyan, 5th season of Nyan Nyan, and it's all about the truth. But the 4th seasons that have passed, there was also some lot of controversies around you as a presenter, that this guy is about Nyan Nyan, is about the truth, but he's not preaching what he says. At some point you were reported to be engaged, and then you're not engaged anymore because you cheated on the fiancé. You're not being truthful to her, and are you Would you say this time around, I am truthful and I'm coming back with the truth, only the truth?
Look, when I joined the industry, I did not have any illusions, about the things to expect. Especially, debuting my career on TV with a show like Nyan Nyan, which promotes the truth. I knew, that people are going to scrutinize me, my character, because this is what I preach on Nyan Nyan, So, and I know that at the end of the day, there's media, no offense, but they have to sell, and the so-called sources are not always reliable, But if you have to know, my engagement broke off, not because of anything that people read, in the media. It was simply a case of the woman that I was engaged to telling me that, Luyanda, when I got into this thing with you, I was just drunk by love. I was not thinking straight. But now, there are things that are happening in my life that force me to want to be on my own first, and experience life on my own first before jumping into this marriage thing. So, sorry to hurt you, and this is exactly what she said. And I'm glad I'm saying this because I've never been given an opportunity to say that. So she broke up with me, not the other way around.
So there was no cheating?
Oh, no. There was no cheating. It was just her telling me that she wants to leave a little. She was young. I was 10 years older than her, by the way. That was another factor that, I think I'm too young. You're 10 years older than me. Probably you've lived enough for you to want to get married. But me, give me a chance to live as well. I'm now studying, so I need to study, I need to travel the world, and I've fallen out of love with you. It's a very hurtful thing to hear as a man, because it comes and crushes your ego. But of course, I have to take it, swallow it as a man. That's why even today, I have no hard feelings with her. We still talk. Her brothers, we are friends even on social media. We comment on each other's statuses, we like. So there are no hard feelings.
And are you in a serious relationship currently and hoping to get married soon?
Okay, well, all right. I am in a relationship. My girlfriend is abroad. She's in the United States. Actually, when I was in the USA recently, I was with her. And I didn't hide it, even on social media. I posted some video with her. I wouldn't say I'm ready to get married. It's just 6 months. We're still getting to know each other, but we're hoping that if all goes well, we will, take that, go that route.
We see you now have the new look. There is a whole new look, and you have apparently lost some weight.
It's not a good feeling for you as a TV personality to be overlooked. When you know that you are talented, when you know that you are driving a show, by the way, that is the biggest show, reality show, across all channels in this country. But you are overlooked because of how you look. Overlooked how? There are these things that they always like to do, like top 26 years TV presenters. Not that I want those things, but I mean, I'm a young man, I'm a guy.
You also want to be seen as sexy.
It's not a sin, to be recognized, by how I look. So, but I realized that I was the problem, not the media or whoever that is in charge of that list. I was the problem because I looked at the mirror, I was like, it's 2016 and I started my career in 2013. So since 2013 until now, I've been looking like this,
Reality check.
You know what I mean? It was as though I was sobering up to say, no, this has to change. So that's when I hit the gym. But of course, I'm 35, and the age. I don't know if I should say this.
You should say it. It's Nyan Nyan. It's the truth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 35. I don't want to get married and already sexually I'm not able to perform well because I'm not healthy. I'm fat. I'm leading an unhealthy lifestyle. And then I go and bother pastors in church for counseling because I have a problem in my marriage, not because those problems are caused by anything else, but they are caused by my inability to satisfy my wife. Because I do want to get married one day. And at 35, your sex performance, in fact, it starts at 27. It goes down as a man. So if you don't gym, if you don't watch what you eat, and you still want to get married and satisfy this woman, and you want this woman to be faithful to you until you die, then you need to take care of yourself.
Right from the man himself.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Luyanda, for joining Unscripted. It was all his truth.